So, with a smile this big, only two things could have happened. I either got a package, in which I'm not going to get a package today because it's Sunday, or I found something. You guys want to know what it is? Then you definitely want to stay tuned. So I am super ecstatic about the find that I picked up. Well, actually, I didn't find it. Somebody else found it. And there was a conversation that ensued, and I actually got information as to where exactly it was at, and I went to it. But before I get to that, which I'm going to do last, first things first, I will do a full review on this fragrance, but it is one I showed you I found a few days ago, maybe a week ago, at Ulta, and I paid $50 something for this, and it is a 100 ml bottle of YSL L'Homme Ultime. And I actually wore this yesterday when I went to my third job, in which I only work that job now on Saturdays. But I wore this yesterday morning, and a customer came in, and I recognized him, but he had his wife and one of his sons with him, and I had this on, and I actually was getting slight whiffs of it throughout the day because it was slightly breezy out, but it was faint. I was helping the customer, and the wind must have came through at the right time, at the right angle in that warehouse, and his wife was like, "Oh my God, you smell so good." And in the back of my mind, I was like, "Oh shit." But then at the same time, I was like, "Thank you." So, old team, thumbs up. I was on the fence about this one. I actually talked to Trey Sense about this when I got it, and I wasn't thrilled about it. It smells good, but for some reason on my skin, I wasn't picking it up. But on my clothes, I could smell it because I sprayed it on my shirt. So I don't know what's with that, and I was on the fence about it. But now, being that somebody else has smelled it and they said it smelled great on me, I'm in love with it. So, L'Homme Ultime by YSL. That was yesterday. Now, yesterday, I actually took a trip. I got off from work at about 1 o'clock that afternoon, and I had this planned since the middle of the week. As soon as I got off from work, I hit the road. Where did I go? Well, I'll get to that part in a second. First things first, a little bit of a story. I know you guys don't really care. Some people don't really care about the story behind it, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. So, on Facebook, there's a guy who posted what they found in TJ Maxx in his area. And that fragrance was a Creed fragrance. So I went, looked at the post, I read some of the comments, and Trey Sense was actually the first one to comment. And he said something to the effect of, "That's a good find, especially for the price," or something like that. And then I jumped in and I was like, what did I say? I said, "Man, I can never find anything good like that. You guys are always finding all the good stuff." And the guy was like, "Well, where I live, this place is like 20 minutes from where I live." And he lives in, I think he said, Raleigh, North Carolina. And so from here to Raleigh, I think it was like 4.5, almost 5 hours or close. Well, no, it wasn't that. I don't even think it was that. Probably like 3.5 hours, 4 hours, something like that. So I got off from work, and I jumped on the road, and I actually got there just in time because they closed at like 7 or 7:30, and I got there, it was like 6 something. So I walked in, and the first place I stopped, because he found it in the men's section, as far as I know, because I saw, I think it was Nautica Voyage that he had it sitting on top of. So when I walked in, I went straight to the women's section first just to see if there was anything else there. And I looked on the front side, which is in the aisle, and there was nothing. I mean, it was a few things there, but I wasn't really interested. And so I was like, well, it's probably not over here. I walked around on the back side of that same shelf. And there it was. Creed's Royal Water. I am highly ecstatic. Now, I was gonna mention this fragrance at the end of the video, but I might as well go ahead and get it out the way. It's a 100 ml bottle, and the price tag on the back, $169.99. So I don't think that's bad compared to what I would have been paying if I would have chose to get it online. So here it is, Creed's Royal Water. Now, what do I get when I smell this? I'm not saying that it smells like this fragrance, but it kind of reminds me of it. The kind of citrusy, that clean aspect, the freshness to it. It kind of reminds me of CK1 as far as like vibe wise. I'm not saying that it smells like it, because the quality on this is super high. This is considered to be unisex, I believe. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but in the description that I read of it, it did say that men and women could wear this, so it is unisex, and I believe that also. Smells fantastic to me. Not a lot of people talk about this particular fragrance. They always talk about what's the other one? The Virgin Island waters and all the other popular stuff. So I'm kind of glad I found this one and not one of the other ones, in which I would have been happy about that also. But now there are 2 versions of this as far as I know, and I'll talk more about that in my full-length video once I give this some wearing. But that was my fragrance find. This is probably the best find in the wild that I have ever got my hands on. I did find a Tom Ford fragrance when I first started my journey, my fragrance journey at Bell's, but I didn't know back then what that was, and I wish I would have got it now, but that's in the past. So next, I've seen this one a time or two in the rack stores, and I didn't know anything about it. This is definitely a dated fragrance. This was, I think it said made in 1980 something, and it is Dunhill London edition. And I think this is probably like one of the first few Dunhills, if not the first Dunhill. The price tag on this one was $24.99, I believe it was, but I got it for a much more reasonable price. Definitely smells dated, cheesy looking bottle if you ask me. I mean, I don't know, this plastic cap is weird. The bottle is not bad. It's like a frosted bottle, yellowish type juice. What does it smell like? It has a decent atomizer. You definitely pick up on some citrus. There's like some bergamot, some lemon, I believe it said. Geranium is in this. Some other notes. Definitely one for a more mature person. I wouldn't recommend anyone young wearing this. Although if you're a mature acting young person, definitely you probably could pull this off. I actually like this to be a dated fragrance though. So that is Dunhill London edition. And last thing I found was at a totally different store. I went to Burlington Coat Factory to look around, see if I could find some fragrances in there. They didn't have anything. So I looked in the shoe section, and I honestly did not know that Burlington sold shoes like this or name brand stuff. I've never really been in their shoe section, but just walking around in the store, I had some minutes to burn, some time to burn. I walked around and I looked in the section, the Bigfoot section, because I wear 15. I actually saw a few decent pairs of shoes, but they weren't my size. And the one pair that I found when I was just about to walk away was in my size, and they were $44.99. Flip that over, and it is these, and I am absolutely in love with these shoes. These are fresh. So that's what's up, size 15 here. So those are the things I found. The most valuable prize that I found was definitely the Royal Water by Creed. So definitely, guys, keep your eyes open at the rack stores. I hate that I had to drive, that far for a fragrance, but I think it was well worth it. Just in gas, I think I might have spent, let's see, I put 20 going. I think it was 20, I want to say 25 or 30 coming back. So what? 50 bucks, 55 bucks for $169.70 fragrance. I picked up some shoes that technically you can say 45 bucks, almost 50 bucks, and not even counting this one. So with that being said, y'all, I am about to end this video. I need to turn my TV back on because I actually was watching Civil War, The Avengers, and do a little bit of relaxing before it's time for me to lay it down and go to work tomorrow. So here is to smelling great. Peace, y'all. Stay safe.